Hello and welcome back to this edition of Daily Actives brought to you by Bootleg Macro. I'm Dustin. We're looking at Apple and things look terrible. The question that I have to ask is how bad can it get here? Because when we're looking at this price, recently we've seen the price hit $189. What's significant about that is that it did not break 190, which would have been an important number for Apple to break. We're down at 174. And what's concerning to me most of all is that across the board in the performance, we now are negative rolling returns on the 1 day, 5 day, 15 day, 1 month, and 3 month. We're still positive on the 6 month. But like a week and a half ago, in terms of 6 months ago, now we're only up 10%. We still have, we still have a go short signal on the short term. We've still got go long in the intermediate term, but we've lost the go long in the longer term. When I look at the overall chart, and if I look at the overall trend here, if you looked at my video from the other day, I said I did not believe the bullishness that we were seeing that was going to be represented today. We're back to bearish on the longer term. This thing has been bearish for quite a while. If you've seen my videos before, it's all about the double signals for me. So this bearish, when it looks at the longer term, the EJ column, this is giving us from bearish is really to pay attention to in the middle of August. I mean, essentially since then, we've had no good signals that have made us think that we're going to go higher. The price of Apple, I'm not necessarily shocked at where it is right now. I'm shocked that this is the price that we're holding at. The low 170s is quite a concerning area. If we break into the 160s, we've got to watch out. We're looking at the rolling sentiment. We can see right here, we're still rising bull. On the 10-day, we're going to be flipping to 45%. We're still green and going higher on the 2-day, the 5-day, and the 10-day, which is surprising, but not shocking considering the level that we were at. We were so far down. Today we did close at 48%. So we were down on the day, but the sentiment looked a little bit more positive. Now the concerning thing, if you've looked at my videos before in the trading signals, is that we're going to have tomorrow 5 of the bear key 3 for Apple, and we are at 2 and 1 when it comes to the bull key 3 for Apple. Things are just not looking great long term. I actually want to look at the weekly data just to show you kind of why, and let's actually update this because I can see that this is causing a little bit of a random issue because the data is not necessarily populating. I think it's good that people can see how you can build your own models inside of Google Finance if you want to, or using Google Drive. Oops. We're going to go ahead and hide this column, and then we'll go back to the weekly. This is Apple's weekly. What's concerning here, it's very similar before, is that, but now we're down on the 1 week, we're down on the 5 week, we're down on the 15 week. That's interesting. The 15 week is now, and this price, because I have this on the daily, this price is going to reflect what's happening through the end of today. If the week closed right now, we'd end up being down on the 15 week rolling return for Apple. That's kind of concerning. Very similar on the daily. We now have go short in the short term. In the longer term, or in the intermediate term, we've just lost our go long signal. In the longer term, we've lost our go long signal. We're bearish on the short term, bullish on the intermediate term, and bullish on the longer term. We have been bullish for quite a while. If we're looking at it, it's been since the beginning of March, which has been fantastic, actually, from the long term. We'll look at the charts here. What we can see from Apple overall is that this chart, the trend has completely changed. Things completely topped around that 195. We have not been able to break it. We hit 189 here at the very beginning of September, but nothing has really changed. We look like we want to hold that 170, and 170 is something that we should be paying attention to. If that breaks in Apple, I have no idea what's going to happen to the overall market. Obviously, there could be a catalyst. Obviously, there could be world events. Obviously, there could just be someone farts in India and they decide that they're going to sell $1 billion because they accidentally hit a big key. Who knows? Everyone in the world owns Apple. Every single mutual fund, every single ETF, probably every single emerging market fund that is focused on the United States that's outside the United States. So if you're in Europe, if you're in Asia, if you're in South America, if you're in Africa, if you're in Australia, you're going to be probably owning a piece of Apple as well. And it just by itself, by being one of those global, one of the global companies that a lot of folks are going to own across just across the world in terms of total asset management, you have to think that if something gets really ugly, where we're starting to see a setup that changes like this is a trend change. So we can't be surprised if we look at Apple and we say, okay, this could have a very similar impact to what it saw from the top in 2021 to the bottom. We don't know what happened there. Don't know what happened there. But we're just going to flip right back and look at the daily here, because I think the daily action is going to tell you the exact same thing. Essentially, what you're seeing is that right now Apple has been showing increased volume while the price has been falling. The volatility has been falling while the price has been falling. It's actually quite concerning now that I think about it, because the volatility is probably about to rise here in Apple, which is very interesting. If the correlation continues to fall negative on the daily, I would look out below. We're looking at this overall trade range. It looks like we're at 169 at the bottom. At the top, we're at 192. Things don't look too bad across the board, but if we do again break that 170 level, I'd watch out below. I think that Apple has a big opportunity to fall a lot lower, a lot quicker. The volatility is setting it up. The correlation is setting it up. The way the sentiment is setting up. What we've seen recently in the chart, just this essentially emotionless trend right into August. And now what we've seen since then, things look like they've changed, and Apple is a humongous bellwether of the entire market. I'd be very cautious if I was anyone. Depending if we break into the 160s, the 150s, no idea how low Apple could go. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Are you long? Are you short? Do you like it? Do you love it? Is this even a good review? And before you go, subscribe to the New High newsletter. We send you 25 stocks to your inbox every single Sunday. Stocks between $5 and $20 that are breaking out. Stocks breaking out to 1-year highs and all-time highs. It's a great list to review on Sundays. I'll talk to you soon.